Welcome to Aikido Kokikai Berlin. Today we're going to learn how to handle our jo, or wooden staff. So first of all, if you're sitting seiza, as with the boken, your weapon should be on your left, and the tip of it should not extend past the line of your knees. So you're ready to pick up the jo immediately from this posture, to stand up. And we're going to start with some ski exercises. So ski normally, right, is punch. Actually, it's more like thrust than punch. And we're going to thrust with the jo stick as well. So your jo stick should be completely upright. And actually, if you're shopping for a jo, ideally, it comes up to about your armpit, right? Because there are actually longer staffs called bow. There's actually a jo bow that's, I think, halfway between a jo and a bow. You'll remember the bow from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, if you ever watched that as a kid. Donatello had a bow. This is a little bit shorter. Anyway, your arm should be more or less parallel to the ground while holding the jo. The jo is upright and in front of your left foot. In order to get into ski or thrusting position, you need to practice tipping the jo into your back hand. So from here, kind of without looking, you tip, and you should be able to catch it. And your hand is always here, right? Here, always at the end, like with the boken. I say flush against the bottom. All right, so you can practice this a few times so that you're ready. I find it's even easier for me than watching myself if I just sort of feel where it is, and you can make minor adjustments if you need to get there. Once you have the jo in hand, to ski like this, you want to slide step a little bit forward and push the jo through your hand, right? So you're not like lunging ahead and compromising your posture, right? We never compromise our posture in Kokikai Aikido, correct posture in everything. So instead, remain upright, look out and away, and push with your one point. And aim a little bit toward an imagined attacker's neck and get off the line. So if the line is here, you have to imagine a sword strike is coming in and you want to avoid the sword strike, right? This jo was used in medieval Japan to defend against swordsmen, right? If you weren't allowed to carry a sword because you're a commoner, you could defend yourself against a swordsman, against the samurai, probably drunk, just with a stick, but you have to get off the line so that as the sword strike comes in, you're not there. This is where this kata comes from. Not this kata, this is where this weapon comes from and these movements. Eventually we'll get to the kata. So push, so step off the line, a little bit slide forward, bring your back foot behind you. And I've seen different ways of doing this. I've seen this, where your feet come together. And I've also seen people do it where their foot comes behind. I don't want to be dogmatic about it. You can probably find a million videos on YouTube how to handle a jo. I think you should find a way that's comfortable for you. Check in with your teacher that it's correct for the way that you practice. And do that until you hear otherwise. Most important thing for me is less where you put your feet and more that you're relaxed, you're sending ki, and you're stable, right? If someone were to come and ki test you here, try to push you over, they wouldn't be able to. Another fine point. You can twist with your back hand. Little bit. So there's a twist, a winding up, and then an unwinding. You do this motion. I think you can see that. So the full ski is off the line, thrust, then step back to where you were and bring the Joe back to the bottom, to your waist, and roll it up. And I have my right hand extended a little bit and my left hand is closer. I don't know if you can see that. So it's at a bit of an angle, right? I'm trying to protect my head from the sword strike that might be coming to counter. Right? And I don't grab the Joe with my fingers over the top. I sort of hold it in place because there could be a sword strike coming in along that, and then my fingers would get cut off. So this rolling up idea, right? So ski, and then it comes back to here, unwind, and then roll up. So don't shortcut it. Bring it in, roll it up. And then you can see that I've got it at a bit of an angle, right? And my left hand is kind of in the middle. Maybe you can even maybe put it 1/3 from your backhand, like so. And we can practice some repetitions of ski with the Joe stick. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right, as with Boken, you should do some repetitions of ski with the Joe. Sometimes we also can do this from the left. It's atypical. We don't tend to do this with Boken, but if you really want to confuse yourself, you can also try from the other side, right? So I find it still pretty clumsy. I don't do it as often. And if you've done with Joe starting in the left hand, you can try Joe starting in the right hand for an additional challenge. It's really gonna mess you up at first, but maybe it's good for, I don't know, your right brain, left brain balancing. Anyway, that's ski with Joe. You also should be proficient in Yokomen. So Yokomen, like that, with an open hand. Same with the Joe. Don't bring your hand too far down the Joe, not more than with your right foot. Right? Yokomen to the side of the head. Then left hand comes out, right hand comes out, and Hantai across, with your left foot stepping in. All right, so Yokomen, Hantai. And your left hand is kind of arcing away from you each time, if that helps you remember. All right, so nice and big, Yokomen, right? And then my left hand moves, Hantai. Yokomen, Hantai. Yokomen, Hantai. Yokomen, Hantai. So you can move across a room, or if you're outside, you can move in a line, or you can do this in place, right? And just step back, step forward, step back, step forward. So your right side is always coordinated, your arms and your legs. All right, and make sure you're lifting, right? You're not being lazy like this. All right, lift. Real Yokomen. And use your body for the Yokomen, right? Don't use your arms, you're gonna get tired. All right, everything should come from one point. So throw the Joe in the air and catch it with your one point. And it's that catch at the bottom of the fall that is the critical point, right? If you're actually doing some kind of strike, this is not very powerful. All that effort, you don't get much out of it. But if you're using gravity, at the very bottom of the fall where you catch it, there's like this one moment of impact. That's more important, and it will lead you to make sharper, cleaner movements. Also with ski. Right, and that's actually the first 4 steps of the first Joe kata. which we will go over in another video. So that's how to handle your Joe or your wooden staff. Please practice on your own and enjoy. Thank you very much.